Welcome to the Broadway.com show, filmed right here in the heart of Times Square. I'm Paul Wontorek.
And I'm Beth Stevens. Today we're checking in with some exciting national tours, getting an exclusive look at Off-Broadway's A Clockwork Orange, and finding out all about the Off-Broadway return of When Pigs Fly.
And later, we're sitting down with Jean Valjean himself, Les Mis tour star Nick Cartel.
But first, let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Paul?
Three-time Tony Award nominee Condola Rashad, last seen in A Doll's House Part 2, will follow in the footsteps of great stage actresses like Katharine Cornell, Uta Hagen, and Lynn Redgrave, and take on George Bernard Shaw's St. Joan. First seen in 1923, the play is Shaw's dramatization of the life of Joan of Arc, and has previously played Broadway 7 times. Tony Award winner Daniel Sullivan will stage this new production, which will close out the season at Manhattan Theatre Club at the Samuel J. Friedman Theatre, with previews starting April 3rd and opening night on April 25th.
Bikini Bottom is Broadway ready. The complete cast has been announced for the musical version of SpongeBob SquarePants. Joining previously announced star Ethan Slater as the title character will be Gavin Lee as Squidward Q Tentacles, Lily Cooper as Sandy Cheeks, Danny Skinner as Patrick Starr, Brian Ray Norris as Eugene Krabs, and Wesley Taylor as Sheldon Plankton. Directed by Tina Landau, the show about a simple sponge under the sea begins previews at the Palace Theatre on November 6th and opens on December 4th.
I guess we should catch up on our SpongeBob viewing.
Okay, but it's going to be a really long binge watch because there are 20 years of episodes.
You're right. Let's just see the musical. Tony and Emmy Award winner John Lithgow is bringing his one-man show Stories by Heart to Broadway. Having previously premiered at Lincoln Center Theatre in 2008 and played London's National Theatre, this night of storytelling will start on December 21st at the American Airlines Theatre. In Stories by Heart, Lithgow talks about his start as an actor and shares 2 stories by P.G. Wodehouse and Ring Lardner that were read to him and his siblings when they were children. Daniel Sullivan, who I just mentioned 2 minutes ago for directing St. Joan, will also direct this engagement, set to run through March 4th, 2018.
There's a bunch of news out of London, so let's get to it. Baz Luhrmann's stage adaptation of his 1992 film Strictly Ballroom will make its West End debut in March. The show, about a championship ballroom dancer, has already wowed audiences in Australia, Toronto, and the UK's Yorkshire Playhouse. Meanwhile, Olivier Award winner and 4-time Tony nominee Zoe Wanamaker is set to lead a production of Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party in the West End alongside Tony nominee Stephen Mangan and Emmy nominee Toby Jones. Appropriately, the play, directed by Ian Rickson, will bow at the Harold Pinter Theatre in January. And finally, the highly anticipated London production of Hamilton is delaying its first preview from November 21st to December 6th, with the holdup being attributed to the reconstruction of the Victoria Palace Theatre.
So, London audiences are going to have to wait for it.
They'll be in the room where it happens soon enough.
I bet we're the only ones that ever have to make these jokes.
Definitely.
Broadway's greatest dancers were honored at the Cheetah Rivera Awards, the trophy formerly known as the Astaire Awards, at a special ceremony at the Al Hirschfeld Theatre on September 11th. Bebe Neuwirth hosted the event, which featured stunning performances, tributes to waitress director Diane Paulus and dance legend Tommy Tune, and a bunch of winners. Taking home top honors were Holiday Inn stars Corbin Bleu and Megan Sikora, honored as Broadway's outstanding dancers. Bandstand choreographer Andy Blankenbuehler, the ensemble of The Great Comet, Sweet Charity choreographer Joshua Bergasse, and off-Broadway hoofers Brandon Espinoza and Lyrica Woodruff. Big congrats to all.
Get ready for double Deweys at Broadway School of Rock. Newcomers Justin Collette and Connor John Galuli will share the role of dropout-turned-teacher Dewey Finn in the hit musical, replacing Eric Peterson, who is leaving on September 24th to join the cast of the upcoming Jimmy Buffett musical Escape to Margaritaville. Collette, a Canadian comedian who is currently the Dewey alternate, will start playing 5 shows a week on September 25th, with Galuli, a current ensemble member, taking on matinee performances. School of Rock also stars Jen Gambatese, Stephen Booth, Becky Gulsvig, and some of the most talented kid rockers you've ever seen.
After the break, we'll find out all about 2 Andrew Lloyd Webber shows hitting the road, get a peek at When Pigs Fly, A Clockwork Orange, and more.
Welcome to Dreamland.
The most epic love story of our time is now Broadway's summer blockbuster, Miss Saigon. It's a stunning, jaw-dropping spectacle. See it now for a limited time. Miss Saigon.
Hi, I'm Jason Alexander. You're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome back. Broadway School of Rock is hitting the road. The hard-rocking show about a wannabe rock star who poses as a substitute teacher at a fancy prep school is sticking it to the man all across the country. We met up with the tour stars, including frontman Rob Coletti. Take a look.
If you're in, raise your hand.
I'm in the jam.
Yes. My man.
I'm in the band.
Yes, you're in the band.
Well, when you go see any Broadway show, you have incredible sets and lights and music and all that, but here you have a concert as well, and it intersplices within the story, and you don't see it coming sometimes. And at the end of the show, people are up on their feet clapping along. It is such a unique experience, and like the fact that I get to perform in this show still blows me away. Like I really can't believe it. It's still very surreal.
Rob Coletti is the best Dewey Finn there's ever been, and he is so funny.
Rob Coletti as Dewey is just new. It's just a completely different energy to. I mean, that's what I really love about the show, is that there is no one way to tell it. And I think Alex showed that when he played it on Broadway. David showed it when he played on West End. So Rob brings his own version of that, and it's a very funny man.
I need some backup singers. Anyone? Yeah, sing.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Fix your bottom, don't
Yes,
learn that. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early?
Sing. No.
The musical features a band of pint-sized rockers who play their own instruments. Meet the kids who make the music of School of Rock really rock.
I love seeing everyone playing their instruments and doing what they love to do, and I think this show is good for all ages, for adults, for kids.
No matter what they say.
Yeah,
Who cares?
it's like the perfect show, and it's so funny. The energy is awesome, and I love the music because it's like musical theater and rock together, and those are my two favorite genres.
It has been a dream of mine to be in this show for such a long time, and I'm just so happy that it's finally happening. And everybody is so nice. Everybody in the cast is amazing.
Well, I just feel like I'm proud of myself. How amazing drummer seeing 3,000 people around me and like clapping for me, and I would be like happy. I feel like it's a very good show for kids and adults to see because it does share a really good message.
And I hope they chant School of Rock when all the parents do it, because when I saw it, that's what they did. And I was like, School of Rock, School of Rock.
Come see the School of Rock tour!
Yeah.
We are the School of Rock, and school is
Howard Crabtree's When Pigs Fly is an off-Broadway hit from the 90s that is back and more fabulous than ever. Telling the story of a mad costume designer with Ziegfeld-sized ambitions, this musical review features an all-male cast and some of the most unforgettable get-ups in town. We recently met the stars and got a peek of the show at a Midtown press event.
When pigs fly, the blue yonder gets wilder. It's too late to cancel the trip, so don't even try. Take a look and you might spy Arnold's Ziffel zooming by. When pigs fly.
Howard Crabtree was a extremely talented showman, really. He loved designing costumes, and he was a very talented performer and singer and creative force, along with Mark, behind When Pigs Fly and a bunch of other shows that they wrote together.
He specialized in funny costumes that did things, costumes that did a trick while the singer was wearing it. He would come up with whatever crazy costume idea he wanted to build, and we would devise a number to feature that costume, which is I don't think anybody else has ever worked that way.
Howard Crabtree died of AIDS in 1996, 5 days after finishing work on When Pigs Fly. The musical now lives on as a tribute to his talents.
I didn't know him when I saw the first show, and I didn't know that he wasn't with us. And I wanted to meet him, and I said, this kid is really great, you know, and then I found out, and it was like, oh. And I thought, well, thank God he did some really wonderful work, and he had funny ideas and a great sense of humor. And then now when I'm working on the show, I feel like I know him, really know him more than ever.
When Pigs Fly offers outrageous costumes from legendary Hollywood costume designer Bob Mackie, a fan of the original show.
Bob Mackie is a legend, and if you don't know who Bob Mackie is, then Google him. To be in 13 costumes that Bob Mackie has designed, they're gorgeous, they're funny, They're beautiful.
You know, I'm just so happy to make a tribute to Howard and his great work, and hopefully everybody will love the costumes and we'll have a good time.
What can audiences expect from the show? A really good time.
They can expect a lot of talent. They can expect shrewd direction, beautiful choreography, beautiful costumes, a really smart set, an immersive set, actually.
They can expect to have a great time, to come out feeling wonderful. This is a show that is so joyous and embraces old school musical theater in such a shameless way that you cannot help but be swept up into it and laugh.
You need us to make the
The Phantom of the Opera is back. Love Never Dies, the sequel to Broadway's longest-running hit, has landed in America with a hotly anticipated national tour. We caught up with the stars of this new musical, which features some of Andrew Lloyd Webber's luscious songs ever, to find out what's up with the Phantom, Christine, and all of our Phantom friends in Love Never Dies.
It's a sequel to the Phantom of the Opera, basically. It happens 10 years later. And here we get to find out what has happened to these brilliant characters that everybody loves and knows so well, and see how things develop.
It's set here in New York City, actually, in Coney Island. We find Christine. She is a super famous opera diva, but there are some things going on in her life where perhaps she needs some more money and was offered an amazing opportunity in America, which is why she had to leave Europe and come to America. I love how much more in depth we get into the characters, and I think that might be a surprise to some people because they're going to see now not just the surface of each character, but like what are they really dealing with, and that was a surprise to me, a wonderful surprise.
We're very blessed with having two stars in this show who are very sexy and great talents, and I think it's going to be a really fantastic show for people to see.
It's Andrew Lloyd Webber at his best. It's these soaring, beautiful, romantic melodies. I think one of my favorite parts of Phantom of the Opera is when Christine finally ends up kissing the Phantom at the end, and there's the suspense that builds, and then the moment where they kiss and the music swells and this whole orchestra's playing angel music, and it's that in this for 2 hours.
You get everything that's great about Andrew Lloyd Webber. You get wonderful melodies that will stick with you for sure. I know from experience of rehearsing it, but you also get really great little production numbers, which I think is something that in the original you didn't get as much of.
Andrew Lloyd Webber's music is spectacular in this, and Glenn Slater's lyrics, they're very meaty and wonderful, and I see great things for Love Never Dies.
Like the Phantom of the Opera, Love Never Dies is set to take audiences on a wild theatrical ride with dazzling visuals, this time inspired by turn-of-the-century Coney Island.
This production, I say this lovingly, is weird. It's set in a freak show on Coney Island in the turn of the century. It's very bizarre.
There are dark elements in it, and all these interesting characters. You see a person with, 3 eyes, and you see somebody with wings and mirrors. So it's a place of magic.
It's a little bit freaky, we explore that, and there's really bizarre costumes and really strange ways of using the set.
A gorgeous carnival. Just absolutely crazy, mysterious, dark, and just... You're going to go on a ride. I mean, it's like a roller coaster, like Coney Island,
British director Alexandra Spencer-Jones has brought her acclaimed stage adaptation of Anthony Burgess's 1962 literary masterpiece A Clockwork Orange to New York City. We recently got a chance to find out what drew her to the notoriously testosterone-driven tale of a dystopian future at a Broadway.com photo shoot with the stars of the show, led by newcomer Jono Davies.
A Clockwork Orange is a dystopian novel written by the brilliant and deceased Anthony Burgess, made famous and immortalised forever by Stanley Kubrick in film form, and then it's something that we've translated into theatrical adventure. It concerns the life story of the young Droog, or young boy Alex Delarge, who we see on a crime and punishment journey. He is imprisoned and sent to a transformative Ludovico technique which conditions him against evil. It's about whether it's better to be good and forced to be good, or whether it's better to be allowed to be bad. Gender, for me, doesn't mean that much in the piece, and I think that I'd be excited in the future to do it with an all-female cast. John came to me in 2014, very young. I think he was 21 at the time, and he had this most incredible, vivacious, sportsman-like energy. He's an incredibly complex young man and a brilliant character actor, as well as someone who's fiercely musical. I'm really excited that he's heading up the US cast over here, and not just that he's representing the incredible amount of hard work that the UK male ensemble over a long period of time put into developing the characters in the show.
Davies and Spencer Jones have been working together since 2014, when Davies took on the role of Alex DeLarge on the Norwegian tour of A Clockwork Orange. The US premiere marks a major milestone for the company and its director.
The cast we've put together are an incredible band of brothers. I'm so excited by all of them. I'm delighted to bring it over here now, specifically because I think Clockwork is at its most relevant. Anthony's such a genius, though, that when he wrote it in the 60s alongside riots taking place, and when the RSC did their production in the 80s, or the film came out in the 70s, there was always a world situation that one could draw from. It's ever pressing, ever relevant, and whenever there's a disaffected youth, which will be always, there will be a Clockwork Orange.
A Clockwork Orange opens at New World Stages on September the 25th.
When we come back, we chat with Les Miserables tour star Nick Cartel.
Welcome to Dreamland.
The most epic love story of our time is now Broadway's summer blockbuster, Miss Saigon. It's a stunning, jaw-dropping spectacle. See it now for a limited time. Miss Saigon.
Nick Cartel is starring as Jean Valjean in the new touring production of Les Miserables. Cartel recently stopped by the Broadway.com studio to chat about playing the momentous character and why this Les Mis is a must-see. Nick, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. I'm
here.
so excited to talk to you. So you're playing Jean Valjean in the national tour of Les Miserables.
Yes.
How did it feel to find out you'd be leading the tour? How did you react?
Kind of in a state of disbelief. I mean, granted, I've been working so hard in the auditions for this role, and so to finally be able to say that I'm playing this role is huge. But also it's a very big honor, you know, and there's a lot of weight that comes with that. But I'm excited to take this show out across the country. That's for sure. Yeah.
Was this role on a Nick Cartel bucket list for you?
Definitely, definitely a bucket list. I think the music is what is so amazing, and so to be able to sing this score every night, to play this role, it's just, I mean, it spans a lifetime.
Yeah,
and that's why I think it's something that appeals to me, and I think it appeals to audiences across the country too.
Right.
So yeah.
You've toured with the Phantom of the Opera before, so you know what it's like to be part of a big Cameron McIntosh produced production. What do you love most? What do you enjoy most about this production of Les Miserables?
I think what I enjoy most is the story and the story that we're telling. You know, this production really harkens back to the book, while bringing in all the music that everybody loves. And so I feel like the characters are so fleshed out, and we really see real people that are living this story. That, I think, along with the music, is what I love it.
Yeah. What do you enjoy most about becoming Jean Valjean? I mean, this is a huge Broadway role. Like this it's one of the biggest.
One of the biggest. Right now, it's about just making sure that I am in the right headspace for this journey that I have to do every night.
To go from here to here every single night.
Every single night, you know, to make sure that I pace myself through the show, since it is such a big vocal sing, but also tell that story every night.
Yeah,
so
being part of the bigger production.
Being part of the bigger production.
Is there something that, in the process of discovering your Jean Valjean, is there something you've learned about yourself, something about your process?
There's so much about this character that I can connect with, especially as we get into the second act. And there's so many little things that I find that I'm connecting with other cast members on stage. I'm connecting with the music. everything just kind of sparks differently for
Yeah.
different moments in the show for me. And so to find an inner strength, to find compassion, to find love, to find all of these things that just kind of well up to help bring the character to life more is what's so exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a moment or a song that you're really excited for people to see because you're so emotionally attached to it, or?
I have to say, Bring 'Em Home for me is one of those, I'm so emotionally attached to it. Throughout the audition process, it was one of those songs that I kept coming back to, and I actually lost my mom during the audition process. And so to be able to sing that song every night and to be able to connect with the story and to connect with what I'm singing, it brings just so much up and still brings the story, I think, further and brings it forward.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
I don't have to tell you that, but people, I mean, so many people have an emotional connection to this show and so many moments in it. Besides the obvious of that, it's just a spectacle to look at. What do you think it is about this production that people are so enthusiastic about, that why people come and see it again and again?
I think Cameron McIntosh kind of sums it up. There's so many people have a love for this show because they connect with the characters and they connect with the story. And that was true when it first premiered, and that's true today. And so what's great is that we're bringing this show to new audiences across the country, and they're able to connect with these characters that have compassion and have love. And there's an inner fight for justice and an inner fight to do right. And especially in today's world, I feel like there's so many people that want that and want to feel that. And I think that that's why not only can they escape into this world that we're creating on stage, but they can also get that inner emotional passion and then take it out into their daily lives.
Yeah, there are so few shows that are one-stop shops where Les
exactly.
you get everything.
You get everything.
Yeah.
You get everything. You get amazing characters, great singing, great story across the board, amazing projections, set, lighting. It all encompasses.
It is. You mentioned this a little bit earlier, but Jean Valjean does have to go from one end of his arc to the other. It's a big deal. How do you, as Nick, prepare for that, keep yourself well for that, while also, being you on the outside?
But yeah, exactly. It's a lot of steaming. It's a lot of
face
tea.
buried.
It is a lot of Ricola. It's a lot of just making sure that I'm taking care of myself. Making sure that I'm continuing to work out, making sure that I'm breathing, and all the techniques that I've learned to pace myself for a show like this, as well as just making sure I get enough sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
You've done Broadway.
Yep.
You've done tours before.
Yep.
You've done a little bit of everything. Why did Les Mis, why did this opportunity sort of land in your life at the right time? Why is this the right move for you to be making right now?
This is the right move for me because this is kind of everything that I've worked for. You know what I mean? To play this role out on the road, to play this role just in general in musical theater is huge. I've understudied, I've been a standby, I've done all these different things that I think have led me to this place and this time, where now it's time for me to step up and be like, no, this is my time, it's my time to take this journey, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, be the leading man.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy meeting fans outside of stage doors? Is that something? Yeah.
I love that. I think that, we play these characters on stage for, almost 3 hours, but then to connect with people outside after and to see how it has affected them, it just makes our jobs that much better.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's what you do it for.
It's what we do it for, yeah.
As Les Mis tours across the country and hits city after city, why should people seek out the show and come see Les Mis on tour?
This show has stood the test of time, and it will continue to stand the test of time. And it is one of those shows that you can come and escape and enjoy, and you can see so much in a 3-hour period, and you can have a full emotional journey and walk away not only feeling better about life and about the human spirit, but also taking that into your own life as you head out of the theater.
If I wasn't sold already, I would be now.
Well, good, good. Come and see us.
Absolutely. Make sure you go check out Nick Cartel in the national touring production of Les Miserables. Tickets are on sale in places now. Go see it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure having you come in.
Thank you so much.
When we come back, bandstand star Laura Osnes serenades us.
The most epic love story of our time is now Broadway's summer blockbuster, Miss Saigon. It's a stunning, jaw-dropping spectacle. See it now for a limited time. Miss Saigon.
Hi, I'm John Briones, and you're watching the Broadway.com show. Yes!
Thank you for watching the Broadway.com show.
We leave you with Broadway favorite Laura Osnes singing a special and absolutely gorgeous version of Bandstand's haunting song, Welcome Home, as we say goodbye to the musical on September 17th.
See you next week.
Welcome home, welcome home, welcome home, my dear. Welcome home, my sweet. Welcome home, my hero. Welcome home, my heart. Welcome home.